My mom?
Hi there, how are you guys?
She just got here along with my dad. And we are gonna go head out into the garden, and today is onion and carrot harvest today. So we're digging for treasure, but a different kind of treasure this time.
Yep.
I think this is the first time you've helped harvest carrots and onions?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we did a few onions when we did the potatoes because they were
In the way.
collateral damage.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Is that thing new?
What thing?
Oh, is that a weather
No.
station?
Yep, it's a weather station. Josh got that for Christmas last year.
That's really cool. I need a new one.
I saw the,
Well,
Mine died.
maybe for Christmas. They're talking about this weather station here because our weather is not accurate when we look online, and so we have fun. Mom, you can eat as many tomatoes as you want. Do you want to bring some home? There's a lot. Okay, let's go over to I just cleaned that out last night. This was tomatoes.
I might take a couple slicing tomatoes.
no way.
No, the potatoes were over here. I just planted garlic in it yesterday.
Oh, so you just burned the whole thing?
Yep. It was actually perfect that we got it all ready
Yeah.
because it made planting the garlic made planting really easy. And because the soil was all nice and loose, it made planting really, really easy. So here are the two beds we are going to focus on today. This is Bolero carrots in this bed, and this bed is Royal Chantney carrots. So do you guys want to start here?
Yeah, I'll start right here.
So I think what we should do is grab all the onions first,
All right.
and then work on the carrots.
Here,
Oh, thank you.
it was in my bucket. What are these flowers, Becky?
Those are cosmos.
Oh,
White
we
dwarf
used to have
cosmos.
those in the house that Nate was born in.
Oh, nice.
Under the windows. I didn't know what they were when they first came up, and I pulled them all out. And then I didn't weed again for who knows how long. And then they started blooming, and I was disappointed because I pulled a bunch out.
Well, they're almost like weeds.
Yeah, well, that's what happened. They came right back.
I think I'm going to get the sunflowers while you guys work on onions.
Okay.
Check this out.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that great?
That one's a pretty decent
Yeah,
size.
there's some big ones in here.
And then there's some little ones.
Look at that.
We almost have a full basket. What's this?
That is a,
Water gauge?
oh, there's a spider on you.
Oh.
That is for pollinators. It's a little water
Oh.
holder for pollinators.
Do you want me to put it in the basket or stick it back in the ground?
Stick it back in the ground, it's fine. Oh, yeah, we got a full basket already.
Well, one full basket.
This harvest is going to blow your mind by how productive these two beds were. I have never had a carrot harvest like this, and I am so excited to share it with you. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm removing these spent sunflowers. They're done for the season, and what has happened is the squirrels have actually crawled up them, chopped off a lot of the heads already, and been eating the heads throughout my garden. And so I'm going to go ahead and remove the rest of them. I do end up saving as many of the heads as still have seed in it that the squirrels didn't get to, and I will put those up and I will attempt to plant them next year and see if we're able to save sunflower seeds for next year. Now, in both of these beds, I did something I've never done before. I companion planted onions and carrots. Onions are supposed to be a very good companion plant with carrots because they're very potent smelling and it's supposed to deter pests. Plus, the onion sits on top of the ground and the carrot grows underneath the ground. And so they're not competing for soil space. So you can really maximize your garden space by planting them together, and it worked wonderfully. So I've got a couple butternut squash that I think I'm going to go ahead and harvest as well.
They're little bitty babies. They're cute.
Perfect.
Oh, there was some over here. Did you get them? Yes.
3 of them.
So we got the onions and this bed's sort of cleaned up. I think we're going to move on to the onions in this bed next. I just let my parents know that any onion that has a flowering head, we're going to put in a separate pile. You can even see sometimes they're a little bit small because these onions are not going to last in storage for any length of time. So we're going to chop these up and throw these in the freezer. So we're going to create a separate pile. And these onions are red onions. Oh, wow, these are much bigger.
Yeah, look at the size of these.
Yeah, that's great.
This grow cloth made all the difference in the world, didn't it? There's like hardly a weed in here.
Yeah, it's super
And last
helpful.
year I remember spending hours and hours and hours trying to weed these beds. Well, the other beds actually in the other house.
They grow good. They grow well together, though, don't they?
Yeah, they're supposed to be a good companion crop.
Okay, looking pretty good here. Pretty cool.
So I did a great job labeling. This is the label that came with these onions. These are Patterson onions, and this is a storage onion. They are small. Oh, I just found another one. But they are plenty good to eat.
Look, it's a bouquet of onions. Aren't they pretty?
Those are way
Aren't
bigger
they
than I was expecting.
Aren't they gorgeous?
Yep. Oh, that's okay.
There's some giant carrots in there.
So let's see if I can find a name tag for, oh my goodness, I just caught this out of the corner of my eye. Mom, look at this.
Yeah, so yes, I was looking at those carrots. I thought it was an onion actually.
Holy cow.
When I was, look at that one.
Oh yeah, that's a beautiful onion too. So if you can see a name tag,
Okay.
oh wow, look at this. These are great.
Yeah, these are really luscious.
Oh, I broke that one. Oh, so there's
Oh,
some,
there's one little carrot. Two little. Oh.
and be careful, Dad, there's a snake behind you.
Snake.
It's behind you.
Cool.
Oh, those are some good looking onions.
Yeah.
These are the ones that were rotten that we planted together.
Oh, the ones that look dead?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
So I planted these carrots on May 9th, or 29th.
Oh, these are lovely onions. Look at these.
Wow.
Aren't they beautiful? Putting the red ones on this side.
Yep, that would be great.
And do we have a carrot pile going yet? Because
No.
here's, okay. These were accidental carrot pulls. Here's the tag for the yellow Spanish. And that's this side of the wheelbarrow, right?
Yep,
And then this is more red onions.
yep, and we're still looking for the tag for the red onions.
All right. Really nice.
We got all the onions now. Well, at least we think we got all the onions. There's probably still more in here. And now we're gonna harvest these carrots. These are Royal Chantney carrots that I got at M.I. Gardner, and I planted them May 28th. We are gonna start at this end and just work our way that way. We are gonna pop the tops of the carrots off and let them just compost in this bed. This is the before of what the bed looks like now that the onions have been removed, and there's mostly just carrots in here, maybe 1 or 2 onions that have been left behind. And we are going to get to harvesting. Now, there are many things you can do with carrot tops. They are edible and they are delicious. You can turn them into pesto, you can dehydrate them and use them in broth, when you need to make some bone broth. You can use them as a parsley replacement. I have enough pesto that I like made with basil in my freezer, and I grew plenty of parsley. So I would rather use this carrot tops to feed my soil. So that's why I'm choosing to compost it in the bed. I'm going to just put that nutrients right back into the soil. And then I do give quite a bit of it to the chickens as well, because they will enjoy some fresh greens. Now, this harvest is huge. It's astronomically bigger than anything I've ever harvested when it comes to carrots. This is my 4th year growing carrots, and so garden is the slow person's game. It takes time to learn how to build this skill. And now that I've harvested these, I need to figure out what to do with them. What I did before I even put the seed in the ground is, when I was purchasing seed, I was reading about the different varieties, and I chose varieties that are storage carrot varieties. So, vegetables and fruits, they come in all different varieties, and each of the varieties carries its own traits. And carrots, some of them are better at being stored. So I did not know that this was going to be an abundant carrot year, but I knew that when I harvested carrots, if I was going to get more carrots than I could eat fresh coming out of the garden, I want to try to store a bunch of them fresh for fresh eating, because Josh and I don't like canned carrots. when I go to plan how I'm going to preserve fruits and vegetables that come in from the garden, or I purchase from local farmers, or I find on sale, I try to preserve them in ways that we enjoy eating. Because if I preserve something in a way we don't enjoy eating, it's just going to sit on the pantry shelf or sit in the freezer, and all of that work and resources that went into it were for naught. I will go more into how I'm going to store these in the refrigerator, how in the past I've been able to get carrots to stay fresh in the refrigerator for many months without a cold room or a root cellar, because I don't have either of those. I have a basement, but it's not cold enough for carrot storage, but I do have a garage refrigerator, and I was able to do it in the past, so I'm hoping that these varieties store well and I'll be able to do that again.
Look at these.
Oh my goodness. They are so, oh my goodness, look at these. But this carrot harvest is so massive. I know that with my technique of keeping them in the refrigerator, Josh and I still, there's no way we'll be able to go through that many pounds of carrots. So we do have a big, large carrot preservation day where I preserve probably about 1/3 of the carrots that come out of the garden. And then I gift a bunch of them to my mom, and I also gift some other carrots to some loved ones, because the last thing I want is for them to go bad in my refrigerator, because I'm trying to keep them fresh. But I do keep quite a few of them in the refrigerator, and we are going to see with this storage technique how long I can store them in the refrigerator. And it's really cool that I have two different varieties that we're going to be able to compare side by side and know, which ones do better, because they are very distinct and I know which ones are which in the refrigerator. So that's good. I'm excited. We're going to weigh them separately, and so you'll get a weight from one variety to the next. And if you stick around, you'll be able to see which ones stay fresh in my refrigerator the longest. So here my dad is topping the tops so that we don't have to bring the mess inside. I'm going to pass these off to my dad, and he's going to take the tops off while my mom and I keep.
Aren't they lovely?
If I'm seeing weeds in here, which I most definitely am, I'm picking these and I'm tossing them over the deer fence so that they don't get replanted in
This
this
looks like
bed.
a tree.
Yeah, so few weeds in here.
Yeah.
Well,
There you
that's
go. That
first
goes with the clover pile over there.
the weeds. These ones are coming up a little bit smaller down on this end. Maybe I planted them too close together. The itty bitty ones, we can just let compost, like these teeny tiny ones. Oh my goodness.
Look at that. I can't even pull them up. They're too tight together. One.
Well, they grew pretty good even though they were so close together.
Oh yeah, they're good size. Look at that.
Yeah.
They're flat. They're flat on the sides.
That's funny. You can certainly take carrots home, Mom.
Thank you. Here's another clump all together.
Yeah, this is where I didn't thin them quite as well, it looks like. Those ones are a little small. Let's talk about the issue of thinning carrots like my mom had just mentioned, and I said, oh, I guess I didn't thin the carrots very well there. These carrots seed, when I planted these were not pelleted seeds. So this is just normal carrot seed you could get from any seed company. And carrot seeds are super itty bitty teeny tiny, and they can be very difficult to plant proper spacing. Proper spacing for a carrot is about 1.5 inches to 2 inches apart. That will give the carrot the best chance to grow to its ideal size because it's not going to be competing for nutrients and for space. When you plant non-pelleted carrot seed or just carrot seed, they're so small that sometimes they can be difficult to plant proper spacing. So what you want to do after you plant your carrots is usually you end up planting too many seeds in one spot. Once the seed germinates, you can see where the individual plants are. Ideally, you'd go back and thin the carrots. So you'd pull out carrots that are too close together. But clearly, I didn't do that because you saw where they were growing close together, but they still grew, some of them, to a fantastic size. The other bed of carrots we're going to be harvesting in a little bit, those were planted with pelleted carrot seeds, which just means the seed company took the effort to put a clay coating around the carrot seed so that the seed is actually bigger and it's easier to space them proper spacing. So you don't have to go back and thin the carrots. Both are good. It's just whichever one you end up wanting to choose. Non-pelleted carrot seeds are cheaper. They are usually, there's more varieties to choose from because not all seed companies pellet all seed varieties, and they store longer. So if you don't plant them all in 1 year, that's okay. They'll store for many, many years. Pelleted carrot seeds are usually a little bit more expensive. You want to plant them the year you buy them because the seed degenerates over time, and so usually you won't have as good of a germination if you keep them for years and years. But the benefit of them is you can plant them proper spacing and you don't have to go back and thin them. But typically they are a little bit more pricey because you paid the company to go through the effort of pelleting them. This first bed is done. Great job, guys.
Looks good.
Looks great. And now we're gonna look at all these carrots and onions. Now we're going to use the carrot tops to mulch over the raised bed.
Let's go with the mulch pile, right? Then all the way to the edge.
Oh, there's an
Or
onion.
another onion.
Oh, that looks really good. Perfect.
We're not done harvesting yet. We still have one whole bed of carrots to harvest, and we have a bunch of other things I end up finding in the garden and harvesting while my parents are working on the second bed of carrots. But before we do anything, we needed more basket space so we could keep harvesting. So I came down into the basement and I laid out these cardboard boxes. These are the same cardboard boxes that I had cured the potatoes on and the black beans on. I had cleaned up the mess from the potatoes and black beans, got those stored away, and I'm just going to reuse the cardboard boxes for curing the onions. Now, ideally, it would be ideal to cure your onions hanging up, but I don't have enough shelf space or anywhere where I could hang my onions, so I'm going to lay them flat, try to lay them with some space a little bit between on these cardboard boxes in my basement with 2 box fans on them, and this is how I'm going to cure/dry my onions. And I've done this in the past and it's worked well for me. The humidity is very low down here and they can dry out. You're wanting the green portion of the onion to completely dry out. You want the paper around the outside paper around the onion to dry out so that these can store for use all fall and winter. I do have some plans for these onions. I want to turn them into some yummy culinary things. I want to turn some of them into onion powder. I want to dice a bunch of them and get them in the freezer just for convenience, not necessarily because they can't store down here in the basement fresh, but just for a convenience item. So what we're going to do now is just get them laying out and drying. Oh wow, this one is a store-bought onion size. That's great.
Yeah, is there a way to get them to grow bigger? My Walla Wallas, most of them were huge this year, but they grew on top.
They needed more nutrients.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I got to really beef mine up, totally.
Because I'll show you some that I grew that are from the same company, planted the same day. that we didn't harvest yet, and they're 4 times the size because I
Just that one.
just
Well, because you put more fertilizer.
Yep, I actually fed them.
Yeah, that I heard onions are heavy feeders.
Yeah.
We got the 2 big boxes with pretty good soil last year, but the one that's on the ground is pitiful. I've not had zucchini in years.
Well, I can
My
give you some of
rhubarb
this
is-
soil amendment that I have that
is
really
Pitiful.
good. I'll give you some that I got that really made a big difference. So we still have a few more onions out there, plus the ones we've already been eating. I'm really happy with that. So now I have these 2 fans, just like we did with the potatoes. So we're gonna go ahead and wash these carrots now. So I wanna put my tags. This is the yellow Spanish onion. And we never found the purple onion tag. I'll have to look at my receipt.
It looks pretty long. Can we do it like just in the wheelbarrow?
A few more.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Sorry.
It's okay.
I didn't have a hold of the end.
It's okay. So what
Cool.
if we rinse them first in the wheelbarrow?
Yes.
And then
because
we
then we can
transfer
drain
'em.
it. Well, then we can drain it from here.
And we can transfer them into this bowl and do the second rinse. Many of you have sent me this really cool reel of these washing stations where you've got 2 basins. And that's definitely going to be on the list for next year because it'd make this job a lot easier.
Oh, what?
Where it's 2 wash basins.
Oh,
that
yes,
are mesh
yes.
at the bottom.
Yes. I just saw somebody's garden wash
Put that in the
station.
water so that
I just saw somebody's garden wash station like that. It was a big counter with counter space on
Yeah.
either side and 2 big, like, commercial kitchen
Yep. Stainless
sinks
steel.
with a basket
Yes.
that you pull up. You know, put the produce in the basket in the sink like we're doing in the wheelbarrow.
Yeah.
But you pull the whole thing up like you would a pasta.
And you would just have
Boiling.
a hose to drain out into the woods or something like that.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go ahead and get these washed and then we can do a second rinse in the second container. When I first started harvesting these carrots, I knew that there were some big ones in there, but it is amazing how quickly, we had forgot some onions, so they got washed too. So they're nice and clean. I'm gonna lay them out here, let them dry. But it is amazing how they didn't seem like that much when my dad, my mom, and I were out there harvesting. And even when they were in the wheelbarrow with the onions, it still didn't seem like that much. But when we started washing them and putting them into this is a 30-quart stainless steel bowl. That is huge. This is when we start realizing, oh my goodness, there are a lot of carrots here. Now, this wheelbarrow, this is only the first wash. We wash them extremely well when we take them inside. This is just to get the initial dirt off them, so don't worry. Before I do any cooking with these carrots, they will be washed thoroughly at least 1 more time, if not 2 more times. But we're scrubbing each individual carrot for its original wash.
Do you remember Rossi Farms there on 122nd?
Oh,
Where
yeah.
we used to get pumpkins and stuff?
Yeah.
They had the big counter for scrubbing
Yeah.
vegetables, and of course the giant machine with the roller brushes.
Yeah, counter height would definitely be more ergonomic for sure.
Oh, here's a square one that was wedged in between.
That's great.
You've seen those pictures where they grow watermelon and cantaloupes
Yeah.
in bottles.
These carrots are store-bought. If not big, they're thicker than store-bought carrots. I've attempted to grow this amount of carrots before, and they have never looked like this.
No, well, you had weeds last time.
Yeah, I did.
I mean, overwhelming weeds.
So what I'll do is, where I grow carrots, I don't think I'll put landscape fabric even next year. So what I'll do is, I'll just move where I plant them every year. So I'll make sure I plant my carrots where there was landscape
Yes.
fabric. So hopefully the weed pressure will still be,
Won't be as bad.
yeah.
That's a good idea.
Oh yeah, this is a square one too. Or it's
Flat.
flat on both sides. I'll go more into the landscape fabric and my thoughts on it because that was a new thing I'd never done before until this year, where I put landscape fabric in my raised beds. I had never seen anyone do that. That was just, hey, last year's garden, the weeds, like my mom has mentioned, I think a few times now, were out of control. And so my goal is to try to keep the weed pressure down. And one way I'm trying to do that is by not letting as many weeds be introduced into the beds via just like wind and air and birds, because there's so many hay fields around me. The weed pressure here could be really, really overwhelming if I let the weeds get out of control. So I use the weed fabric where I'm planting things like tomatoes and peppers, squash, things where they're not planted as close together. But carrots are obviously planted so close together, I don't think it would be practical to use landscape fabric where I plant. Did I say potatoes? I meant carrots. Now I can't remember what I said. I was thinking potatoes because I didn't use landscape fabric for potatoes either. So what my idea is I'm going to rotate my crops, which I would do regardless of if you use landscape fabric or not. So I'm going to rotate my crops. So where I had maybe tomatoes last year, I'm going to need to look up what is a good rotation. Where I had tomatoes last year, where I had landscape fabric, that's where I will put carrots next year, and there will be no landscape fabric. And then I'll continue to rotate my crops, which I would do anyway throughout the garden year after year after year.
Got more bowls and towels so that we can make sure they're a little bit dry on the bottom so they're not sitting in a bunch of moisture.
Oh, that's a good idea. So we'll just wipe them as we put them in a bowl.
I think it's okay if there's a little bit. I was just thinking putting it at the bottom like this so the ones on the bottom aren't sitting on.
Okay.
Until I can manage, like process all of them.
Okay.
I wonder if we should take the roots off.
Sure.
And I think what we decided we're going to do is go ahead and just stick them in Ziploc bags so I can stick them in the fridge until I'm ready to process them. Some of these, I've had carrots stay in my fridge for months in Ziploc bags. Now this is a new variety to me that I've never used before, but the bolero carrots, the next carrots we're harvesting, those are a storage carrot.
I'm using the corner of the towel to wipe off any hairy roots that didn't come off in the water, because those will decompose quickly.
Yeah.
And be slimy. Well, that
we want
works.
to put the largest ones in here, and we'll try to organize them by size.
Okay.
Yeah, we do want to get as much of the roots.
Yeah, like that glob there.
Yeah.
Now you may have noticed that I put a cotton cloth in these bags that we're putting the carrots in, and I think that right there is the key to getting carrots to last a long time in the fridge. Something about the cloth, the cotton cloth, it absorbs the moisture, it releases moisture. It's so that there's not like condensation sitting on the carrot against the bag where the carrot could get mushy and moldy and go bad. I have just found that having a cloth between the bag and the carrot is key to keeping them in the refrigerator for a long period of time. Now this is completely anecdotal, my experience. I've had good luck with it. I just randomly stumbled upon doing this and it worked. So that's what I'm going to do. And my mom is right. We want to get off any sort of roots or debris or carrot tops, because anything like that could decompose quickly compared to the carrot.
I just took 3 bags of carrots up to the refrigerator and I weighed the carrots as I went in, and we got 22.4 pounds of carrots so far, and we still have 2 bowls, huge bag. I have 2 2-gallon bags and we have 4 1-gallon bags. We're taking a little bit of a water break. Cheers.
Cheers, the best. Bubbly, Becky.
No, Waterloo.
Well, I mean, it's bubbly water.
It's carbonated water. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I do like
Cheers.
this Waterloo. That's one of my favorites.
We're going to get these done. We are trying to take off most of the fine roots just so that they stay in the fridge longer. I have plans for these, lots of plans, but first thing we got to do is get them into the refrigerator so they'll stay good. And then once we take our little break, we get these finished, we are going to head back out into the garden and start harvesting the bolero carrots, which the bolero carrots are bigger than these
Another whole
Royal
bed.
Chantney
Oh, are
carrots.
they bigger carrots?
They're bigger. Yeah.
Fun.
We harvested the smaller variety first. It was a perfect day for this.
Yes.
For the carrots, or the onions too.
Yeah, I can't believe how many onions you got. That's amazing. Oh, you got a seat.
Oh, perfect. My dad found a 5-gallon bucket over there he's going to sit on. Perfect. We're separating the carrots via the size of them so that when I go to preserve them or deal with them or figure out what I'm going to do with them, I have a better, they're just more organized.
We're pretty much down to the small ones because the easy ones you grab, the big ones you grab first.
Yeah, definitely.
The little ones sink to the bottom of the bowl. But they're a lot drier now
They definitely are.
as they're coming out. Those are pretty good medium-sized ones if you have any more big ones over there.
I'll fish them out.
Yeah, those teeny tiny ones I think would be good just pitched in on top of a
Roast.
beef roast or
Yeah.
chicken or... Okay. I can't reach your bowl.
What if we put it in the middle here?
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna go weigh these. All we can do is put them in a bowl.
That's amazing.
Okay, we're gonna weigh the second round of carrots. You wanna put those on there, Dad?
Yeah.
So 11, 24.4 plus 22.4. 46.8 pounds of carrots. Okay, so we'll get these in the fridge. I'm gonna grab another basket. I got the carrots in the fridge. Can't believe we grew 40 something pounds of carrots. That's crazy.
You want the other basket?
Maybe.
I'll get it.
Wouldn't hurt to have both. Okay, so we're heading back out there. My mom's, she's probably already picking carrots as we speak. Mom, there's a few more butternut up here if you want one of those.
Hey,
too.
what is this gourd that looks like a club?
Gourd?
What is the world is this?
Oh, it's a toponcino. I don't really know much about it.
What is that?
It
It looks like a war club. Look at that. I've never seen anything like that in my life.
Yeah, the top got damaged just from when we were harvesting. Dad or I stepped on it or something. But
Is it something you could eat?
I think so. I think it's like a butternut squash. I think. I don't know much about it.
I've never seen anything like that.
That is what that bed is looking like, all cleaned up. And then here is this bed we are about to tackle. And these are called bolero carrots.
We're gonna have to dig them out. Some will pull out, some will have, the tops will break off. We'll have to dig out, but I was having to dig out the first ones, so
So the difference,
they're a little bit longer.
these are a more longer tapered. The other ones were wider at the top. Or no, these are more blunt at the bottom versus super tapered. It's just the style of carrot.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of clover in here.
So this is
So I will
icky.
pull it up. Bad weed. Bad weed.
And this too.
Oh, and I'm
Carrots, right?
finding,
Grass.
no, carrots.
Oh, carrots.
Oh, that one's not so big.
Yeah, these pull right off. We'll have to dig them out. I don't want to use a shovel because
Oh man, they are large though.
yeah, look at that. Wow.
That's a store-bought carrot. That
Yeah.
looks like a store-bought carrot. Yep, there's the clover right there.
Yeah.
And hand that to me.
I'll try to get all the roots out.
I'll just toss all this. While you guys are doing carrots, I'll take care of the sunflowers. I'm gonna give those to the chickens.
I've got 2 big sunflower heads here that I'm going to save for seed to hopefully plant next year and see if we can get some of the sunflower seeds we saved to germinate next year. I'm really trying hard this year to learn the skill of seed saving. That's a completely different skill than learning to grow things and learning to preserve things. And so every year just trying to learn a little bit more about the different processes of things in the garden. So here I've got a couple squash that are ready to harvest. So I'm going to go ahead and grab these. These are fairy tale squash, and they are in what used to be the corn bed. And then we're going to go over to what used to be the melon bed and pumpkin bed. I kept these butternut squash out here to finish ripening. I probably could have harvested them when I harvested the rest of the things in this bed because you can see these plants are completely dead. But they are now ripe and ready for harvest. So I'm going to go ahead and put those in my basket. My mom actually wanted these, so these are going to go home with her. And then she does ask for a couple other things on her grocery list for me to harvest on this day, so we are about to go harvest some more things for her.
My mom wants tomatoes, and I've got tomatoes, so I'm going to grab her some while we're out here. She said slicing. They're not the prettiest anymore, Mom.
What?
They're not the prettiest anymore, but they
That's all right.
are still good. I thought this plant was done for the year.
Oh my word.
Do you need a zucchini, Mom?
You know, I would take one because I could make some more zucchini,
Zucchini
lemon bread. That's really been a hit.
I think I'm going to go ahead and just take this plant out. This was one plant.
Oh my word. There's a lone basil here.
While my parents are just finishing up harvesting that bed of carrots, I'm going to start harvesting these onions. And these are the really large onions that got fertilized. Here you can see just how big they are. Here you can see. Versus these are the exact same variety planted on the exact same day. These ones are actually starting to get to decent size. I did not think these carrots were going to be ready to harvest, but it looks like, you know what, I think we should leave these carrots in the ground for a little bit and we'll do an experiment. My mom just found a whole nother clump of onion. I forgot they were over here. I just got this round.
Look at these giant red onions.
Oh, yay.
These are grocery store onions.
Yeah, go ahead and grab all those.
They're oh, I can smell it. Basil.
The basil, yeah.
Smells so good.
There's a bunch more this way too.
Oh, giant one.
Oh, this is a big one.
Here's my side of the bed. All these carrots.
My mom found more onions, so she's getting the last of them.
And here's a jar.
Yep, one of the most prolific things in the garden.
They just multiply.
Yeah. All right, I think that's it.
Okay, I'll brush.
Let's see.
Oh, there's more onions on this side.
There's onions over here too.
I'll get those.
You want to get these done?
Yep.
My parents are heading in. I just noticed though some of these red cayennes, and I've noticed that if I don't get them before they turn, they are starting to shrivel. Let's see if I can get that one too. Okay, we're gonna go in and I'm gonna show you the finale of everything we got. Wow, there were way more onions out there than I realized. Mom, there's quite a few of the onions in there I had piled together. You can see the ones you're holding. They have started to flower. So we just need to set those aside.
Okay. All right.
Yep, perfect. Look how big those ones are.
Yeah. Are any of them Walla Wallas?
No,
That's
Walla
the,
Wallas are not storage onions.
oh, that's the only kind I bought.
Might have to be out a little bit more, Dad, on the greens because they might not have a chance to dry out. Because the onions are kind of sitting, they might need to spread out just a little bit more.
Red one.
Wow, there are so many more onions than I thought were out there. Got a few more butternut squash. My mom's gonna take a few of those home. These 2 pumpkins are gonna finish curing in here. This pile right here are onions that have flowered. So those I'm gonna dice up probably this afternoon. I just turned the fans back on. I'm gonna go help my parents wash the carrots. We're gonna bag those up, weigh them, and see how many carrots we got of the second variety. It didn't look like we got as big of a harvest of carrots from the second variety. This time we're working smarter, not harder, and we're working in the shade.
We'll need some more baggies. Whoa, they're falling out.
Hold them in there.
Well,
She doesn't want to get wet.
I don't want to
That's
get sprayed. Well, let's fill it up and then we'll agitate it.
Okay.
I've got those onions out of there. 3 of them. Right out of here into the bag.
Yeah. Okay, this can go in there.
These are pretty great looking carrots. As we take them out of the water, we're gonna scrub them with our towel, remove the stem. Oh, you want one?
Yeah.
And that way we're not scrubbing them twice, or really.
And they go, well, we actually can put them into the bag now that we got bags,
Yeah.
and we don't have to move them twice again.
Can you put this towel in that bag? These are, we might have,
That's a pretty big one.
oh, here, I can use a smaller one.
We're doing the same strategy with these carrots as we did with the other one. We're taking a cloth and wiping off any of the plant material, any excess root, and we're going to separate them by size in these bags. So when I go to pull a bag out of the refrigerator to either process it for further preservation or cooking, I have, different sizes, and I can just grab one size depending on what I want to do with it. And it was interesting, this variety of carrot did a much better job in uniformity in growth. There is definitely some smaller ones and some bigger ones, but overall the average size was similar compared to the other variety of carrot where we had extremely small ones and extremely large ones. That could be due to the fact that it's a different variety, or it could be due to the fact that those were pelleted seeds versus these were not pelleted seeds. So from the get-go, this variety of carrot had better spacing than the other variety of carrot. Now, I will never know what the reason is, but I just thought that was an interesting note. Now, we did decide to go ahead and wheel this barrow up onto the patio because we thought it would be a little bit more enjoyable to do that up here versus down there, and I thought it was much more comfortable, and so do my parents. But I mean, look at that. I'm blown away. The carrot, I think, sometimes is not thought about as much as it should be when it comes to growing in the garden. We all think of the tomato, a homegrown tomato is the gold standard. As you know, a homegrown tomato is so much better than a store-bought tomato, but a homegrown carrot is so much better than a store-bought carrot. And so I encourage you, if you've never grown them, try it. The first time I ever grew carrots, I was a kid and I grew them in a pot on the side of my parents' house. And I've loved growing carrots ever since. And when we lived in suburbia, I also grew carrots in the pot on my front patio.
Here is the second round. We got 7 1-gallon bags for a total of 36.6 pounds. This is the goodies I'm sending home with my mom. She wanted some butternut squash, a few slicing tomatoes, some, what are these called? Potatoes. She said she has enough onions from her garden, a big zucchini, and 1 big bag of carrots. So that brings the grand total of the carrot harvest today to 77.5 pounds, which is astronomically more than any carrot harvest I've ever had. I do have some more carrots out there, but I think I'm gonna leave those in the ground, maybe experiment overwintering. We'll have to see what I decide to come up with in the future. I just want to say a huge thank you to my parents for coming and helping me today. I'm going to go take them out to lunch. I want to thank you for taking time out of your day to spend time with us in the garden. We greatly appreciate every single one of you. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. If you want to watch some more of my videos here, you can go watch some cooking videos with me and my mom, and then maybe some harvest other videos with my parents out in the garden. So thank you for being you. Thank you for being here, and I can't wait to see you next time. Bye, friend.
Thanks a lot. Good to see you all.
God bless everyone.